So the good thing about Superbook is it's very customizable, and it's, I don't know, it's really good. And as I shared earlier, if, you've got kids that are on, like we were thinking about, the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th grade kids, they might want Superbook and feel more comfortable, or they may say, this is babyish, I want to go with the big kids, especially if they have an older sibling. As we get started, we'll figure out who we'll have. Any questions about Superbook, the series, or teaching it? This one seems like it's going to be good, but it's going to be pretty simple as far as teaching goes. So the way that we have had teachers in the past, you've taught once every other month, and it's going to look a little bit different. If we want to keep it that way, we would need 2, 4, 6, 8 teachers dedicated to this 9:30 hour. Or if you say, hey, I'm cool teaching the first Sunday of every month on a rotating basis, if that's easier for you and your family, we'll have that option as well. So in a minute, you're going to get a questionnaire that says, I'd prefer 9:30, 10:30, once a month, twice, once every month, once every other month. So you'll get to pick. But that is Superbook at 9:30. Are there any questions about that? Okay, Walker, if you'll take me to the next one. So 10:30, teaching team. This is Godly Play. Y'all, I am so excited. And if you know Miss Pat McGee, her heart is like home again. She spent a year of her life hand carving this curriculum. I mean, she gives the temple, and the inside it has the Ark of the Covenant's in one of them, and it has you open it up and you look inside and it has the teeny tiny 10 commandments. I mean, she has created bread that you break with a magnet in it to show them how to do it. It is fabulous. It is more Montessori style. The way it goes is the idea is it's teaching them about worship, about being in worship. So if we were to do Godly Play the way the book says, it would take a while. It would take longer than our worship service. But when I started thinking about it, our kids are actually in worship with us. They're in here for the assemble in God's name, the call to worship, the passing of peace, and the songs of praise. They're in here for all of that. Then they're dismissed. So then we would pick up in the classroom with storytelling. And you use the figurines, and it's all very quiet. I tried it with JB, and it was really cool. If you'll have the desert box, and it talks about Abram and Sarai and how they're wandering through the desert, and the desert is a place. Kelly, were your kids here for this? No. They missed it? I've been told by multiple people to ask Walter, to ask Christian Hammond. It must have left right before y'all started, but they will know. If you talk about the desert to this day, Christian will say it is very, very cold at night and very, very hot during the day, and kind of do this this really cool way. So you'll share the story, and then it's a time of wondering. The whole thought behind Godly Play is it's not teaching a lesson to say, how many days were they lost in the desert? And they shout it back. It's not repetition, but it's more, I wonder what it would have felt like to wander through the desert for 40 days. I wonder if they got lonely. And so it's really this wondering of questions back and forth with the kids. They'll come back, and then you'll read the story from the Bible. So they've experienced it, they've wondered and asked questions about it, and then you come back and read the Bible story. And they will have the opportunity to respond to that. They can respond by, it'll be there will be art material. They will get to come up and manipulate the figures and tell the story. And they just have time to do stations, I guess, but it's more free choice, and you're not going up and saying, okay, you remember you're supposed to color this blue. That's what the direction said. It's more, well, why did you choose that color? Well, and you'll hear really cool ways that they're relating to the scripture stories. Then you pray. And we'll walk through all of this together. As the parents arrive, I love this part. The little teacher in me got so excited. As the parents arrive, you're going to give a benediction, but you dismiss each kid by themselves. So Piper would leave, and I would say, Piper, your smile today was what God spoke to, how God spoke to my heart today. I just loved it. And Knox, you did the most amazing clay figurine of Noah. That was so cool. You give like a personal affirmation as they walk out the door. And so it's not so much, crazy. It's more calming, and it's teaching them about how to be in worship. The 9:30 Sunday school hour with Superbook is going to be the fun, exciting, watch the video, play the game. And then this is going to be more about we're in worship as a family. Your parents are in there worshiping, and you're in here learning how to be in worship too. So, all of that being said, is there questions about the godly play? Yes.
They will still come in?
Yes. So to the kids, it'll look the exact same. They'll come in, have time with the children, and then dismiss to godly play. But it'll be one class. And again, I want to reiterate, I know that it's so hard. Like Amy and I were going back and forth with this, with some of those kids that are on the age gap. We don't want to say, well, you know what, you're in second grade, so you have to stay in here. Because one of them, a second grader may say, or a third grader may say, I relate more when I'm out there. So we want to kind of give that conversation to parents with the understanding that we don't want to have a classroom of a bunch of 12th graders that are hanging out in there for whatever reason. So that's a case-by-case scenario. We see this more for our pre-K through elementary age. So that's what that'll be for. So then again, the reason I can't teach Superbook, that's why you didn't see my name on there, because I'm teaching the Bible to the adults every day. But I will teach godly play on the first Sunday of every month again. So we would have either 6 teachers or 3, depending on you guys' preference. Are there any questions? I know it is a lot.
I'm a little bit confused. So right now we just do the, while we're here, the 10:30, if you will. If I were to teach today, is it now I would show up quarter after 9,
Mm-hmm.
from 9:30 until, so it's a longer, you're there teaching the 9:30 class, and then you go into worship, and then you leave with them at 10:30, so you're doing 2 classes.
No. Thank you for asking that question.
I'm just confused.
So, yes, you're like, hold on, what all am I going to be doing?
Fine, I don't
If you want to, Mark, if you're like, hey, I want to be on both, do it. But you'll say, I would like to teach at 9:30, or I would like to teach at 10:30. And then you'd say, I'd like to teach that 9:30 or that 10:30 class one time, like once a month, so I'd be the 3rd Sunday of every month, or the same way we have it now, once every other month. But yes, so you just pick the 9:30 class or the 10:30 class, or both. I didn't give that option, but if you're like, hey, I love them both, let me just have a Sunday that I do both, that would be great too. And once I hear back from everybody, your preferences, and play with it, I'll be able to let you know. But I hope to be able to give you what you want, and it works best.
Slow learner, so, right.
Go for it.
So the godly play is what you just explained, where that's the 10:30, that's just
Yes.
in the 10:30. And then 9:30 is similar to what we've been doing, like in my
Yep,
class? But
it's
a little bit
Superbook,
different.
yeah.
Okay.
It's using this. So the way that it'll look on a weekly basis at y'all's house, you and Jenna probably would end up watching the Bible series. And the first episode is on, it goes all the way from the beginning of time up through, I think, the Abraham and Sarah, and then the testing of Isaac is what, like, the big part of it. They're going to watch the Superbook episode, but they're going to watch the test. So it's on Abraham being tested with Isaac. We're all doing the same thing, but at different levels. All of that's at 9:30. Then 10:30 is worship, and they're learning how to worship through godly play. So we're kind of moving from having Sunday school at 10:30 to moving Sunday school at 9:30, but still offering a children-friendly time during 10:30, if that makes sense. Does that answer your question at all? Sorry.
So I know there's